What up there, bro? Brother JT, big shout out to you, man. I'm just taking me another break, man. It's been a busy day with PCs and stuff for me, trying to get the music stuff and music sites set back up. Got kind of behind, but I wanted to at least come take a little short break and come back at you, do a quick video in between. About this tithing and tithe and first of all, I just want to come back and just say, uh, give a big shout out to all the YouTube family, Papa JT, Brother PP Drawing, my little baby brother Justice, Brother Hodden Cliff, Brother Elder Michael McCray, Brother AG Praise, to all that make up the YouTube family. Many of years, including present company, we people have gotten to it's stuck in a lot of traditions and a lot of things that we were told to do, listening at what somebody else told us. And in this case, we are talking about the ministers of the gospel, perhaps, telling us about doing certain things. And I know I was raised that way about tithing. And but when I come to know the truth about a thing, you just cannot deny facts. You cannot deny truth when you see it, unless you're an infidel. But now, people take things the way they want to take them at times. And no matter what you tell them, if they want to see a thing a certain way, that's the way they're going to see it. But now, what I'm going to try to do, and I'm going to speak this here, and I'm looking at it logically, just as like that video you sent. You got to look at the facts. Well, now, first of all, we do look at Abraham. Like I said, now we talking about God's people, the Jews. A lot of those laws and rituals and ceremonies, and that was strictly for the nation of Israel. That wasn't for me and you. We were Gentiles. A lot of that stuff that wasn't for us. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we can't benefit from doing. I mean, just think about, now, if you look at Leviticus, it tells them the diet that they were supposed to have. God knows what's best for our bodies because he made it. So it wouldn't hurt you to abide by some of them Levitical laws about eating. It'll help your health. That's no doubt about that. I don't doubt that. But according to this thing about giving, see, people want to, if you just look at a 10%, man, that'll limit you to the degree. I mean, if you think about it now, Apostle Paul said that we should give according to as it purpose in our heart. That's what Apostle Paul said. That's what he said. And I agree with Paul. In other words, you make a give more than 10%. Why don't you just give what your heart proposed in you? Now, I'm gonna catapult. Let's get away from Abraham. Let's just say Abraham did give Melchizedek such and such and such and so from the spoils of his war that he had with the surrounding people, that and little groups and nations of people he had a little conflict with. So we're gonna say that he did do that. Now, all right, let's go back. Let's go. Let's catapult forward in time. If you look at after Pentecost and after the establishment of the church, what were the disciples doing? Take a look. Look in the book of Acts. It is reported that all the believers, whatever they had in common, they had lands, houses, and all of that, what did it say that they did? They sold it and they brought all. Not 10%. See, now I'm just showing people something. It didn't say they brought 10% of it. They brought all. And they laid it at the apostles' feet. See what I mean? Now, if I had to look at the people's motives and seeing their love for God, I would say those that gave all they had loved God more than the one that was there throwing out 10%. Anybody else want to agree with me on that? So you see, we have gotten tied up in this 10% thing. All of us, at one point in time, been caught up in that. But the thing about it, you don't limit your. See, you can't beat God given. If you ought, man, if you ought to want to give God 100% if it's necessary. But that's how come Apostle Paul said, as it purpose in a person's heart, they were to give. To give. Free willing, not grudgingly. If you're going to give anything grudgingly, you need to keep it. Because it's doing you no good. This is how God blesses us. When we do things free will. But all this scare tactics that people been using, I agree with you, bro. All this scare tactics about if you don't do this, God gonna curse you. God, I do not agree with that. God never said that. That's not in His word. That is what people been brainwashed to feel. But if you just go to the book of Acts, go to the book of Acts, and if you just read that, where they had everything. They sold their houses and land, and they didn't bring 10%. They brought all and laid it at the apostles' feet. Well, you had two that didn't, and you know what happened to them. Ananias, Sapphira. They lied to the Holy Ghost. And you know what happened to them now. So that ought to tell us all something about when it comes to your giving too. When you say you're going to do something. So I just took a break, man, just to come back. I just couldn't help it. I've been working with music and stuff, trying to get this thing together and everything. Because like I said, that's part of it too. Me and you talked earlier. And I like to say, well, we certainly enjoyed our chat session we had last night on Yahoo. Man, I really enjoyed that, man. We was up at 3 a.m. It was after 3 a.m. when I went to bed. So, but it was all good. We need more of that, man. People need to do more. The more you converse with somebody like-minded, of the same spirit and thing, that boosts you, that lifts you up. So with that being said, man, and maybe we'll put an end to all this tithe and stuff once and for all. Just give according to as a purpose in your heart. It may be more than 10%. It may be 20%. It may be 30% or whatever. Or in the case of the early disciples in the early church, they gave all. They sold them houses and land, and the Bible said they didn't give no 10%. They gave all. Now, I'm not telling nobody to go out and give it all. I'm just telling you that's what they done. So they didn't relegate it to no 10%. So now that kind of woke me up when I first looked at that. Because I had been taught all my life about tithing too. But I looked at that, they said they sold all and they brought it all. They didn't say nothing about no 10%. And that was the New Testament church. They brought it all. Because now I know some people ain't going to give 10% and nothing either. Some people just ain't going to do nothing at all. I'm not defending those at all. Because you should support anything that you get something from. Now I just a firm believer in that, brother. If anybody don't believe like I believe, I don't have no problem with them. But I'm just telling you, anything that you are getting something from and you benefit from something from it, I feel you should support it. I feel you should support it with all your heart, mind, money too. If you take that, you should support it if you get something out of it. And that's just me, man. I'm just shooting straight from the hip. So with that being said, Doc, I'm gonna get back to work a little bit, and hopefully I get through in another hour or two, and man, maybe I can do some more videos. I might do another one before the night's out. But at any rate, saying to the YouTube family, man, keep it real. Keep it real. Stay with the Lord. And if you don't worry about no 10%. If you got 90%, give it to God. If you need it, give it to God. But let it be God that asks you to do these things and not man. Smitty Man saying peace. Goodbye.